Is Toby back for a Spider-Man 4? That's an interesting question. Well, in the event that they would make a Spider-Man 4 today, I highly doubt, one, that they would hire me to write the script, and two, that they would have a story anywhere near what I've devised. But for you watching, here's my take on what Spider-Man 4 might be like. True to the first three Spidey films that Sam Raimi did, we begin with a narration by Peter Parker Spider-Man. Yes, we begin with narration, but just to catch us up on what's gone on for the past, 14, 15, 16 years. Because a lot's happened. I mean, we ended with potential reconciliation with MJ after the falling out in Spider-Man 3, and Harry's died, and, well, there's just a lot to catch up on. So let me fill you in on what some of that narration might entail. Well, we've seen that Harry, in a final effort of reconciliation with Peter, left him Oscorp. So yes, Peter is now basically Elon Musk. He owns Oscorp. Also, he's married MJ. They've had a great marriage together. They actually have a daughter who's about 16 now. And we fade in to a cemetery where Aunt May's funeral is being held. Yes, it's a sad day, but we also have Mayday Parker, Peter's and MJ's daughter. Now, it's a sad day, it's a funeral, but it's not over. Peter's got to go back into Oscorp, where he's head of now this new foundation he started called the Uncle Bennett. The motto is, with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, we're going to have that in there at least a dozen times. We got to have that in there because all the other Spideys have left it out because they think it's too cliche or whatever reason. But it's Peter's catchphrase. You got to put it in there. You got to have, with great power comes great responsibility, in there at least a dozen times in a Spidey in there. At least a dozen times. So yeah, everywhere in Oscorp there's this plaque, and right underneath Oscorp it would have like Ben Parker Foundation, with great power comes great responsibility. It's just going to be something that's everywhere. We've also got a picture of some of the founders, some of the board members, and oh look, it's in memory of one of the founders. It's Stanley's picture. So I think that's something that they really can do now, even though Dan is gone, that we can at least have a little homage that he's a picture in the background or a portrait up on a wall in some sort of business. But that's beside the point. Peter's there. He's doing the best he can as CEO. Of course, he's not running the company full time because he's also Spider-Man. I'm kind of thinking more of a Bruce Wayne here. He's kind of acting as a multi-billionaire, but he's also a superhero. But he doesn't always do things at night, so he's doing a lot of stuff in the day. I'm going really fast here, but we also are finding that as his daughter is maturing, she has some of his spider powers, his strength, his agility. Not too sure, not too confident about her spider sense. And she also can't spin webs. So Peter, in his scientific knowledge, devises web shooters for her. Yes, he can still do organic webs, but she has to have web shooters. Now we'll move on to the villains here. I think, like all the good Spidey films from the Raimi universe, you have to have the Goblin. Yes, we're going to bring in the Hobgoblin, but he'll be a very mysterious figure. You won't know what his connection is with Peter. You won't know anything about his alter ego. You'll just know him as the villain. However, two other members that he will bring into his evil plan will be Alistair Smythe, a disgruntled employee for Oscorp/Peter, and Kraven the Hunter. Alistair will be building the Spider Slayers to assist Kraven in killing the Spider for the Hobgoblin. Now, it's going to be a very dire circumstance. Peter's barely going to be able to survive. He's going to have difficulty in the fight. And then we're going to introduce the fact that he's got new armor. Yeah, he's got the armored spider suit, not to be confused with the iron spider suit. It's that mirrored chrome spider armor with all the gadgets built in. So basically, proto-Iron Spider, but still pretty cool. We're going to have that. Then we're also going to bring in Mayday Parker as Spider-Girl. she's going to come in and help her dad save the day against the Spider Slayers because they're somehow tracking the spider abilities because it's that special genetically altered spider that he was bitten with. The same sort of gene markers are in her, and that's how the Spider Slayers are tracking. So they're able to track Peter down whether he's Spider-Man or Peter Parker, and they're also able to track her because she has those latent spider abilities. So she has to team up to not only save her life but to help her dad, and they have a big battle where they defeat the Spider Slayers, they defeat Kraven, and they unmask the Hobgoblin for a shocking reveal. We also come to a final scene, and I think this is one that everyone's going to have a wow moment. This is at the end of the movie. Peter's there in the hospital because he got beat up pretty bad. Mayday's sitting there. She's got a few cuts on her face, but nothing too serious. I mean, she's just sitting there next to her mom, MJ. They're just sitting there, kind of watching Peter in the hospital bed. And he's all right. He's stable. And so MJ's like, all right, I'm going to get up. I'm going to get us something to eat. I'll be right back. And as she walks out, the doctor walks in. Now, for any fan of Sam Raimi's films or the Spider-Man trilogy, you know that Bruce Campbell has a cameo in all of them. That's right. Bruce steps in as the doctor. He's there, he's looking over it, and it's like, well, right, your healing factor's a good deal, and yeah, I know you're Spider-Man and all that, and it's really cool and all that, but, there's really something more significant, and I'm really glad that MJ's gone, because I gotta talk to both of you, because the entire multiverse is at stake. And then Peter's like, I really didn't get your name, and he's like, oh, introduce myself. I've been following you your entire career as the Webhead, and my name is Dr. Stephen Strange. That's right, we're going to make Bruce Campbell. I know that there were some speculation 2010 version of Spider-Man 4, but no, in this one, we are talking about this universe's Doctor Strange. So he then opens up a portal and reveals a portal into the MCU Prime Dimension, where we see a different Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch, look in and it's like, uh-oh. And that's where we end. So I think it would be a great idea, a great film, lots of action, mainly stays within its original Raimiverse, but it also extends into that Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. But again, the likelihood of them hiring me to write this, the likelihood of them doing this is very slim. So don't worry, I'm not intentionally spoiling anything. So take care.